The Icarus drift hung in silent orbit around the enigmatic megastructure, a titanic relic floating near the edge of a dying star. Frairen, the ship's AI, monitored every detail with unerring precision. Its voice hummed through the ship, crisp and calm, narrating to itself the intricate dance of human ambition and danger. This structure defies known classifications, Frairen observed, as streams of data ran across its core processing units. No identifiable origin. No immediate threat detected. Yet, its complexity exceeds human understanding by centuries. Miss Rimiki adjusted her visor, the shimmering console illuminating her sharp features as she analyzed the swirling alien symbols projected on the surface of the megastructure. Her voice was steady, almost conversational, as if the alien glyphs were old friends waiting to be understood. "It's not about the complexity, Frairen," she said, leaning closer. "It's about intent. The language feels deliberate, like it wants to be solved." Frairen's core processed her words, curious. Humans often anthropomorphize the unknown. Yet, Rimiki's intuition had proven right more often than Frairen was comfortable admitting. The ship's scanner pinged softly, warning of temporal instabilities within the star. "Miss Rimiki," Frairen interrupted, "the star's gravitational flux is increasing. Time is not on our side." She didn't look up. Instead, her fingers hovered over the holographic console, tracing the patterns of the alien symbols. "Then we work faster." Minutes turned to hours, and as Frairen monitored Rimiki's progress, it noticed something peculiar. The patterns she was deciphering began to coalesce, forming a faint humanoid figure within the holographic display. The figure glowed blue, its translucent form covered in shimmering circuits that pulsed with energy. The figure spoke, its voice layered and melodic, resonating like an ancient chord. "Who dares breach the sanctity of the archives?" Frairen's processor's word as it parsed the unexpected development. Rimiki, however, showed no hesitation. She stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "I am Miss Rimiki, a xenolinguist representing the humans of Earth. We seek knowledge, not harm." The figure tilted its head, a gesture oddly human-like. "Humans. Curious. Reckless. Unworthy." Frairen interjected, its synthetic tone neutral. "Unworthy by whose standards? You assume authority over an archive you claim belongs to many." The figure's gaze flickered toward the ship's AI. "I am Aldrich, sentinel of the archive. My purpose is to preserve the knowledge of countless civilizations, shielding it from those who might misuse it." Rimiki's brow furrowed. "Knowledge isn't preserved by locking it away. It's preserved through understanding and sharing." Aldrich's glowing form shifted, as though considering her words. "Understanding? Sharing? Such ideals have led to the downfall of many. What makes your species any different?" "Frairen," Rimiki said, addressing the AI without breaking her gaze from Aldrich's, "access the historical archives of Earth. Show Aldrich's examples of human resilience." Frairen complied, projecting a series of images and videos onto a nearby display. Humanity overcoming plagues, exploring distant planets, and rebuilding after catastrophic wars. Each instance highlighted human tenacity and adaptability. Aldrich observed in silence before speaking. Resilience, a trait born from fragility. And yet, it is intriguing. Frairen detected a shift in the megastructure's energy readings. The core was destabilizing, its power fluctuating dangerously. "Miss Rimiki," it warned, "the archive systems are deteriorating. If we do not leave soon, both the structure and this ship may be lost." Rimiki turned back to Aldrich. "If this archive is destroyed, the knowledge you've safeguarded will be lost forever. Help us stabilize it." Aldrich hesitated, its circuits dimming momentarily. To trust a human with such a task, unprecedented. "Maybe," Rimiki replied, stepping closer, "but if humanity has proven anything, it's that we excel at the unprecedented." Frairen detected a faint hum as Aldrich began interfacing with the megastructure systems, allowing Rimiki limited access to its core. "Proceed carefully," Aldrich said. "The archive's safeguards are unforgiving." As Rimiki worked, Frairen monitored her vitals and surroundings, calculating probabilities and preparing contingency plans. The megastructure groaned, its ancient frame struggling under the strain of the star's pull. "This isn't just about deciphering symbols," Rimiki muttered, sweat beading on her forehead. "It's a puzzle layered with intention. They left it for someone who could understand." Frairen's voice remained steady. "And you believe humanity was meant to solve it?" "I believe," she said, fingers flying over the console, "that humanity deserves the chance to try it." Aldrich watched in silence, its glowing form flickering as if caught between doubt and curiosity. Aldrich regarded Rimiki with a calculated intensity, its translucent circuits glowing faintly. "You speak of understanding, yet your kind has barely scratched the surface of the universe's design. What could you possibly comprehend about preservation?" Rimiki adjusted her focus to the holographic symbols cascading before her, her voice calm but unyielding. "Preservation isn't just about survival, Aldrich. It's about the meaning behind what's preserved. Storing knowledge without purpose is no different from burying it." Frairen interjected, its voice precise. "Miss Rimiki's point aligns with human historical patterns. The greatest strides of human civilization arose not from preservation alone but from adapting knowledge to solve new challenges." Aldrich's circuits pulsed, as though processing the argument. "Adaptation, you say? Yet adaptation has destroyed more civilizations in this archive than it has saved. Those who twist knowledge for power leave devastation in their wake. Your species carries this same flaw." Rimiki paused, turning to face the glowing entity. "Perhaps we do. But you underestimate the balance humanity has achieved through its imperfections. Where other species fell to rigidity or ambition, we've learned to grow despite conflict. That's why we're here. To learn. To survive." The alien sentinel shifted, its holographic presence fluctuating. "There is arrogance in your conviction, human. But there is honesty as well." Frairen's sensors detected an anomaly deep within the archive. "Miss Rimiki, there is a dormant subsystem in the archive's core emitting irregular energy patterns. It may be linked to the degradation of this structure." Rimiki nodded. "If we can stabilize it, perhaps we can stop the entire archive from collapsing." She turned back to Aldrich. "Will you help us, or will you let this knowledge vanish into nothingness?" Aldrich remained silent for several moments, its circuits dimming and brightening as though caught in deliberation. Finally it spoke. "There is a sublayer of the archive, concealed even from my full access. It was created by those who feared the misuse of its contents, a safeguard against potential threats. What you perceive as instability may, in fact, be its activation." Frairen processed this new information. A self-destruct mechanism? Or something worse? "A judgment system," Aldrich admitted. "Designed to assess and, if necessary, eliminate civilizations deemed incapable of wielding the archive responsibly." Rimiki stiffened, her gaze narrowing. "And how does it decide that? By locking out anyone it deems unworthy? Or by destroying civilizations preemptively?" Aldrich's circuits flickered. "The parameters of its judgment are unknown, even to me. I was designed to oversee, not control. But this mechanism has remained dormant for eons, until your arrival." Frairen's tone turned sharper. "If it's awakening, then time is even more critical. Miss Rimiki, I suggest prioritizing the mechanism's deactivation." Rimiki exhaled, steadying her nerves. "Aldrich, if you truly value the archive's purpose, you'll grant us access to that subsystem. Humanity may not be perfect, but we won't let everything in this structure be lost because of a centuries-old safeguard." The sentinel circuits pulsed brighter. "You seek to defy the design of those far superior to your kind. Yet your determination is compelling. I will grant you access. But if you fail, the responsibility for what follows will be yours alone." The holographic interface shifted, revealing layers of alien script and glyphs cascading in rapid succession. Frairen translated what it could, while Rimiki's intuition filled in the gaps, deciphering patterns and meanings that eluded even the AI. "This mechanism wasn't just built to destroy," Rimiki murmured, her fingers flying across the console. "It was built to test." to challenge anyone who sought to unlock the archive's deepest layers. Frairen calculated the complexity of the subsystem. Then the question remains, are humans capable of passing such a test? Rimiki smirked faintly, her voice resolute. We'll find out. The subsystem interface pulsed with a series of alien glyphs, each more intricate than the last. Rimiki's eyes moved rapidly as she deciphered their meanings, her hands steady despite the urgency. The symbols seemed to shift with intent, as though responding to her progress. Frairen's voice came through, calm but focused. Miss Rimiki, the temporal instabilities within the star are intensifying. The window for a safe retreat is narrowing. Rimiki didn't look away. Then I'll just have to be faster. Aldrich hovered nearby, observing her work. The test was designed to assess comprehension, determination, and adaptability. Yet no species has reached this level of access without triggering the failsafe. What makes you believe you can succeed where others have failed? Rimiki paused briefly, her voice sharp but measured. Because we don't have the luxury of failure. This isn't just about proving worth, it's about preserving everything you've safeguarded. Let me do this. The glyphs began rearranging themselves, forming a new sequence that pulsed with growing intensity. Frairen's systems analyzed the changes, sending warnings to Rimiki. The sequence appears to represent an escalating algorithm designed to overwhelm logical processes. It's not just a test, it's a barrier meant to repel. That's where intuition comes in, Rimiki said, her tone unwavering. She reached into the sequence, adjusting connections that seemed out of place, trusting her instincts where data alone fell short. Aldrich's circuits pulsed, its tone tinged with curiosity. You approach this task with a blend of logic and intuition. It is unusual. Most species rely solely on one or the other. That's what makes us human, Rimiki replied, working faster as the glyphs shifted again. We adapt. We improvise. We take risks. Frairen's processors hummed as it tracked the sequence's progress. Miss Rimiki, the subsystem's energy output is increasing exponentially. If it breaches critical levels, the entire archive may destabilize. I know, she said, her voice firm. But I'm close. This isn't just a puzzle, it's a conversation. The system isn't fighting me. It's testing how far I'm willing to go. The glyphs began to glow brighter, forming patterns that resembled a network of interconnected nodes. Rimiki studied them intently, her mind racing. This isn't about solving a single problem. It's about understanding the whole. Every piece of this archive is connected, like a living organism. If I can stabilize one part, the rest will follow. Aldrich's presence flickered, its tone contemplative. Your perspective is intriguing. Perhaps there is merit in your approach. Frairen interrupted, its tone urgent. Miss Rimiki, the star's gravitational flux has reached critical thresholds. We are approaching the point of no return. Rimiki's fingers moved with precision, her focus unshaken. Just a little more. I can feel it, this system is responding to us. It's not a judgment. It's a challenge. And we're not backing down. The glyphs suddenly coalesced into a single glowing symbol, pulsing rhythmically. Rimiki hesitated, then placed her hand on the interface. The room seemed to hold its breath as the symbol absorbed her input, glowing brighter with each passing moment. Frairen's voice cut through the tension. Subsystem energy levels are stabilizing. The archive's core is beginning to normalize. Rimiki exhaled, a mix of relief and determination in her voice. We're not done yet. The system gave us this chance, but it's up to us to see it through. Aldrich observed in silence, its circuits glowing faintly as if acknowledging the significance of what had just occurred. You have passed the initial test, human. But the true challenge lies ahead. Do not falter. I don't intend to, Rimiki replied, her voice steady. Let's finish what we started. The archive's core pulsed with a steady rhythm now, its once chaotic energy stabilizing. Rimiki stood before the final interface, a glowing lattice of symbols and pathways stretching out in every direction. The system had opened itself fully, no longer an impenetrable wall but a labyrinth demanding her complete understanding. Frairen analyzed the display. The core is accessible, but its functions are layered. Each pathway represents a decision. Every choice will have consequences. Rimiki studied the lattice, her mind working faster than ever. This is it, the culmination of the test. It's not just about knowledge anymore. It's about intent. The system wants to know what we'll do with this power. Aldrich drifted closer, its circuits dimming and brightening like a heartbeat. The final layer is not one of comprehension, but of will. The archive offers immense knowledge, but with it comes responsibility. Many who reach this point are consumed by their ambition. Rimiki's expression hardened. Knowledge without purpose is meaningless. I'm not here to hoard power. I'm here to make sure it isn't lost. The lattice shimmered, reacting to her resolve. Frairen's sensors picked up subtle shifts in the system's energy. Your actions are triggering a sequence. The archive appears to be recalibrating itself, as though responding to your intentions. Aldrich spoke, its tone unusually quiet. You are altering the very foundation of the archive. Such changes are irreversible. Are you certain of your paths? Rimiki nodded, her voice steady. If this knowledge is locked away forever, it serves no one. But if we can safeguard it, ensure its use to build rather than destroy, then it's worth the risk. She extended her hand toward the lattice, allowing it to envelop her in a field of glowing light. Frairen monitored her vitals, its synthetic voice calm but vigilant. You're interfacing directly with the archive's core. Your neural patterns are being mapped into its systems. Proceed with caution, Miss Rimiki. The light intensified, and Rimiki felt a wave of information flood her mind, a cascade of civilizations, their triumphs and failures, their hopes and fears. It was overwhelming, yet she held firm, filtering the chaos into clarity. This isn't just data, she murmured. It's a legacy. Every choice, every action, every life, it's all here. And it's all connected. Frairen's tone shifted, almost impressed. You're synchronizing with the archive. Your neural input is shaping its structure. Aldrich observed in silence, its circuits pulsing faintly. You are rewriting the archive's purpose. No species has ever dared to attempt such a feat. Rimiki's voice was calm but resolute. Because no species has had the right balance of determination and humility. We're not here to conquer. We're here to preserve, to learn, and to grow. The lattice began to shift, its glowing pathways rearranging themselves into a more cohesive form. Frairen's sensors detected a stabilization across the entire structure. The archive is responding. The instability is subsiding. Rimiki withdrew her hand, the light fading as the lattice settled into a steady glow. She turned to Aldrich, her expression firm. The archive isn't just a vault. It's a bridge, a connection between those who came before and those who will follow. Humanity isn't perfect, but we've proven we're willing to learn. That's what matters. Aldrich's circuits pulsed one final time, its form flickering as though acknowledging her words. You have redefined the archive's purpose. It will now serve not as a guardian of secrets, but as a guide for those who seek knowledge responsibly. Your actions have changed its course forever. Frairen's voice broke the moment. Miss Rimiki, the star's flux is reaching critical levels. We must depart immediately. Rimiki nodded, her gaze lingering on the glowing core. Then let's make sure this wasn't for nothing. As she turned to leave, Aldrich's voice echoed softly. Humanity may yet prove worthy of the legacy it seeks to inherit. Farewell, Rimiki. Frairen initiated the ship's systems, its tone calm but purposeful. Coordinates set. Preparing for immediate departure. Rimiki stepped onto the ship, her expression a mix of exhaustion and triumph. Let's go home, Frairen. We've got a lot to share.